So it's recording. So I'll go ahead and get started with the questions. The first question that I have for you all, and you're not freshmen, so I won't ask you the first one. What are some things you wish you had? Well, actually, if you can try to reflect on your first semester freshman year, what would have helped you in your transition as a first semester freshman?
I feel like I had a good transition, so can I say what worked for me?
Mm-hmm.
It was probably like going to fish camp and being a part of something that's like family oriented, because family is really important to like my family.
Mm-hmm.
So feeling like I wasn't alone in college and doing stuff with other people and not feeling isolated kind of helped me grow and kind of like be like more proactive about studying, about like social time. Like it helps.
Okay.
I also had a good experience because I was in the scholarship Aspire, and so we had to go to like these weekly meetings, and like sometimes I wouldn't like going to them, but like sometimes they'd have like cool things like how to have time management or how to study or like how to budget your money, because like it was the first time I had full reign of my own money. So like being a part of that was really interesting. And, like it was just like a touch point, and like a lot of people in that group were Hispanic,
Mm-hmm.
and like when I came here it was like a huge culture shock because I came from a city that was purely Hispanics, so like coming here was really strange, and like being able to go back to that touch point with people that I'm comfortable with was really cool as well.
Yeah. And not everyone has to, like, I'll look at you for the sake of, like, making sure that if you have a thought, like, you are allowed to talk. But if I look at you, don't feel obligated to say anything. I'll say that as well. Anyway.
So I kind of agree with her about the whole program of introducing you to campus and campus life. I didn't have that. I was part of Regents, which Regents is for first-generation college students.
Mm-hmm.
But we didn't really have a class which we went to every week to talk about campus life and how different it would be.
Is anyone else like in a Regent sort of program? No. Are you?
Aspire is under Regents.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I was in the core till like last semester, so
Okay.
I really don't have to say much about transition to college.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Freshman year in the core is just exhausting.
Yeah. I feel you. Not from personal experience, but I feel you. Okay. Yeah, and it doesn't, I mean, I think, like, even as you think about the question, like the questions I'll be asking further, like, even thinking about other things that could have been helpful, even with you being involved in the core, because we have had other people that are involved in the core, and so they're able to kind of talk about some of the things that could have been helpful for them. So just even keep that in mind. It's kind of similar, but what are some things you wish you had as a freshman? You think about, okay, you're here, transitioning, some things might have been helpful while you're here because you did some certain things, but what are some things you wish you had? Like if you didn't have something, what could, or even thinking about, okay, so you're part of some other programs, right? What is it that was in those programs that maybe there's something there that we're lacking that could be good for this program?
I think maybe structure and accountability, because like my other organization, it's like you're not really penalized if anything happens. So it's kind of like you only check in only if you're kind of like inclined to do so.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if something's like keeping you there and keeping you accountable.
I'm a processor too, so I'm okay with. So don't feel like like you feel pressure to go right away. 'Cause I think a lot too. So
I think a big thing for me was like also like this huge culture shock. So I don't know. Like I'm in this organization where we send people abroad, and before they leave, they have this thing called like I forgot what it's IPS, which is like we talk to them about like how like their cultures are different over there, and like how you're gonna experience culture shock. Maybe having something like that. Like I know it sounds kind of silly, but like for me that was a huge thing. Like I felt really like isolated when I first started college because like there was no Hispanics, and like the only Hispanics I knew were people that came like from home. So like I was attached to them, and I didn't really do much my freshman year because I was so scared of like being the minority when I was always the majority.
Yeah.
So like maybe having like something to do with like something cultural involved in that would have really helped me.
Yeah, I feel you. I think even as even when I was coming up for grad school, it was the first time I really left the Valley, so there was a little bit of shock for me. Even though I had already gotten my degree, like there was like a moment of culture shock, for sure.
It would be nice if we were introduced to all these organizations that are like multicultural. Like I quickly joined Council for Minority Student Affairs, and I felt like I belonged there because it was a group of people that went through the same issues that I went through, and it's mainly Hispanics, and you feel at home, even though you may feel like you don't belong, but you belong in that organization, and they make you feel better.
Yeah. Okay. Kind of similar. What are some things that you wish were? I mean, what are some important things that could be connected to the program? Like, what are some important things to be like connected to the program or to be part of the program? You think?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What's like the point or like the mission of the program?
So I try not to talk. Well, it's a Latino freshman program. So part of the reasoning behind this focus group is try to get like a sense of like what people are thinking that could be beneficial for this program. So whatever you share will be helpful in like kind of developing it. I think we already have like our department already has some ideas because of the things that we know could be helpful for it. But I think what you all share will be beneficial. The reason I sound so cryptic is that I want to make sure that I'm not like leading you to say certain things without you all like telling me, you know? So I don't know if that was helpful. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And there will be a point, I mentioned this earlier, there'll be a point where like I'll ask you some more leading questions, things that we're already thinking about to get your feedback on. Just the first questions are just a little bit more objective. Yeah. So what would be important in a freshman program?
I always thought like there was like this kind of like social kind of meeting where you have like food of the country and like explain something or discuss something like tacos or like Venezuelan food and like discuss what's happening in Venezuela.
Yeah.
Not only Latinos will like kind of go there, but like everyone in general. Yeah.
Cool.
I think if you have like a large group, you should have like tribes, like little families, like kind of like fish camp does with like DJ mom and stuff like that and dad. So like they have like someone, maybe have like upperclassmen be part of this organization too, so that way they can be like, this is what I experienced, and like also in Aspire I had like a mentor, and like I was her mentee, and then they asked me if I wanted to be a mentor, and I wanted to, but I didn't have time. But it'd be really cool if you could have like somebody who's like Latino or Latina that has been through the experience and they can help like guide the freshmen. Or maybe just have families that have like that one person, it's like they're like counselor or mentor.
Gotcha. Cool. Okay. So, what are some